Right, the first one of these questions where we've got to do some completing the square. So write it in this form. That just basically means writing complete the square form. So we've got x plus 4 all squared. Now x plus 4 all squared is going to be x squared plus 8x plus 16. Now we don't want plus 16, we want plus 6, so we're going to have to take away 10. So your solution then is now in that form. The A is the 4 and the B is your negative 10. So if you asked for them, that's what you would give. Number 7, similar thing, x squared plus, take away 6x, take away 3. Find the values of A and B. So it's x minus 3 all squared. So that's just half of this middle term. Right, x minus 3 all squared is x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now we don't want that. We don't want x squared take away 6x plus 9. We want take away 3, don't we? So what do we do to our 9 to make our negative 3? We're going to have to take away 12. So our solutions then, find the values of A and B. Well, this is your A and this is your B. Oh, just beware that it says in here x minus A. So your A is actually positive 3, isn't it? Not negative 3. And it says minus B at the end, so your B is 12. Okay, so hence solve that. That equals 0, so it is x minus 3 all squared minus 12 equals 0. So when it says hence, it means using the answer to the first part. So we add 12 to both sides. Square root. Don't forget that square roots are positive and negative. We couldn't have factorised this question because there's no two numbers that add times together to make negative 3 and add together to make negative 6. So you could either use the formula or you could use this technique here. I'm just going to add 3 to both sides. So 3 plus or minus root 12. Right, you can work out those two numbers on your calculator. I'm not going to do that, but you would do 3 plus root 12 and put your answer in there, and 3 minus root 12 and put your answer in there. Using completing the square, solve this problem. So it's a bit small here. Y equals x squared take away 6x plus 2. So it's going to be x take away 3 all squared. Now we've already done x take away 3 all squared on the last slide. And remember that was plus 9 it gave us at the end. We only want plus 2, so we're going to take away 7. Add 7 to both sides. Square root. Add 3. And again, your two answers there, 3 plus root 7 and 3 minus root 7, which you put in the box below. Here again, express 3x squared plus 18x minus 1 in the form, in the complete the square form. You'll notice this little coefficient of the bracket here, and we've also got a coefficient of x squared. So what we do is, first of all, we factorise for this 3. So it's going to give us 3 lots of x squared plus 6x, so I've divided my 18x by 3 to get 6x, and minus 1, that's actually going to be minus a third. Now, do completing the square on this here, on this quadratic, so it's going to be 3 lots of, so I kind of get this effect of double brackets here, x plus 3 all squared. Now, x plus 3 all squared is going to be x squared plus 6x plus 9. We don't want plus 9, we want minus a third. So it's going to be minus 9 and a third. Right. Re-multiply by the 3 at the beginning of the bracket now. So it's going to be 3 lots of x plus 3 squared. So we just multiply 3 by the first thing in the big bracket, and 3 by the second thing in the bracket. So that's 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times a third is 1. So it's going to be minus 28. So you should see that the equation, the expression is in the same form as what it's been asked for. What's been asked for? So a lots of x plus b squared. That's 3 lots of x plus 3 squared plus some number at the end. So our number is actually negative. But there we are. It's negative 28. Completing the square on the next one. This time with a minimum. Use completing the square to find the minimum point of that. So y equals x squared plus 4x plus 7. So that means y is x plus 2 all squared. So x plus 2 all squared would give us y equal x plus 2 all squared would give us x squared plus 4x plus 4. We want plus 7, so we have to add 3 to that. Now the minimum point of that, the minimum value that we can get for y, so the minimum y coordinate, is when this is going to be 0. So to make this bracket 0, we would have an x value of negative 2. When x is negative 2, negative 2 plus 2 is 0, 0 squared is 0. Our y value then would only be this bit here, because it would be 0 plus 3. So it would be 3. You might be thinking, well, can't this bracket come up with anything smaller? Can't we plug in an even smaller number than 0? Well, it's squared, so the only values you can get is 0 and above. So the smallest this can be is 0, this thing here. So that means that the smallest the whole thing can be is 3. Similar thing with question number 11. Use completing the square to find the minimum point of the curve. Y equals x squared, take away 6x plus 1. So y equals x minus 3 squared. So x minus 3 squared we've done before. It would be x squared minus 6x plus 9. We want plus 1, so we have to take away 8. So our minimum value would be when this bracket is 0, making x 3. So 3 minus 3 would be 0. So that's why we picked 3 there. If that was 0, then our y value would be negative 8. This bit would disappear and we'd be just left with this negative 8. Okay, so the general rule is that it's the kind of opposite value of what this value is in here. If this is negative 3, this is positive 3, and it is this value here, as a general rule.